Hi YouTube, I'm coming on with a nice little Christmas treat, which is called pecan pralines. Um, so this is the recipe right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna try and make it to where you can see it, but I will also type this out into the description box so you guys can make this up yourselves. So let me get into showing you what you're going to need. You're going to need 1 4-ounce stick of butter, a can of evaporated milk. You're going to need, of course, pecans, and 4 cups of white granulated sugar. Alright, so let me turn you guys to see the, oops, covering the camera. Turn you guys towards the pot so you can see. And so the directions say that we're going to cook this on medium. So for my stove, medium is about a 4. So I'm going to put in here the butter, and just don't mind the 2-year-old in the back spinning in circles. And then I'm gonna get this evaporated milk. Evaporated milk, 1 whole can, 12 ounces, okay, and 4 cups of sugar. So, one, two, 3. Stop, son. 4. Alright, so there's 4 cups of sugar right there. Let me get my sugar put back away. And I'm actually going to turn off this bright light that's over me just so you guys can see this better. Actually, let me see. No, still. Let me turn off the other light so you guys can see it good. Okay. So in my pot, like I said, evaporated milk, 4 cups of sugar, and butter. So we're gonna stir this. Get me a spoon. We're gonna stir this, and it's on medium heat. And then another thing you're gonna need for this is a candy thermometer. So if you're gonna make this recipe, please, whatever you do, make sure you have a candy thermometer for this. You cannot effectively make this because it has to get to the softball candy stage. And if you do not have a candy thermometer, you're not gonna know when it's there. So on the candy thermometer, that is in between 100 and 125. So that is about 115. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, it's the yellow section. 100 to 125 is where the line is at in between. So softball stage, and it has to get to that point in order to be able to remove it from the heat and it be where it needs to be when you make this. And you're gonna, after you do that, you're going to mix until it's boiling on medium, stir occasionally, then mix until it boils. Stir continuously until soft ball stage. Excuse me. So it's warming up, it's doing what it needs to do. just gonna keep stirring this. I really want to turn this light off. Oh, but then it's like super dark. Okay. I'm gonna turn this up just a little bit to get it boiling. Just gonna keep stirring. Turned off a couple of lights just so hopefully you guys can kind of see, but it doesn't, it looks like the stove light is like dominating. But that's okay. I'm gonna just leave it the way it is with the lighting, just so that it's not so bright and you guys can kind of see. And I know it says stir occasionally, but I'm trying to also get this butter melted, which it's almost all the way melted. So I'm gonna just let this sit for a moment and do some more melting. And then hopefully it comes up to a boil. And actually, let me put my thermometer on so I can kind of know where it's at. Let me see if I can get this in the light better, just so I can see it better. So that would be, it's like always hard when you have these thermometers and you need to have it in the light to see it. So right now, the temp on this, if I were to tell you, is just past 100 degrees. And it's getting there. It's a little bit of a slow process. This does take patience. Baby Love is trying to see what I'm doing. Yeah, you're trying to see what Mama's doing? Or are you ready to get down? So essentially what you're doing is you're making a candy, and I'm sorry if I get silent and it's like nothing to say. This is a process that's kind of needing a lot of patience, so I don't really have a whole lot to talk about while doing this. But I am going to take the baby out of the carrier because she's ready to get down and be free. So hold on. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Sorry. The baby wanted to be trying to like fix my pants. So, yeah. Everything is like falling down. Sorry you guys had to see me fix my pants. But when you just take a child down out of the carrier, it does take, you know, take a little bit to get yourself back together. Now she's fussing because she's on the floor. Okay, so this is still, it's coming up to boil. Soon I'm going to have to continuously stir. So I'm going to let this start boiling. And I don't know if you're able to see that it's boiling. Let me see, let me adjust this lighting here. Turn this light on. Oh yeah, that's right. It's like super dark. Okay. Well, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to take you over the stove to show you that it's boiling. Turn this light on. Okay, so I don't know if you're able to see that. There you go. It is boiling. That's what it's supposed to be doing. So I'm going to continue to stir this while it boils and gets up to the softball stage. Once it gets to where it's softball stage, we're going to take this off the heat. So let me actually move that. And that's the whole point of having one of these candy thermometers, is to know exactly where you're at. Because when you're making candy, you have to do it precisely or you can mess it up. So we're stirring and we're stirring, because it says stir continuously. Make sure you do that. We're almost there. I'm trying to make sure this stays in the mixture and not on the side of the pot, because I don't want it to give me a false reading, which it isn't. It's like literally just right there. So softball stage is about 115 on the yellow side, or it's pretty much almost 250, which is hardball stage and just before soft crack stage. And this is easy to tell. All right, so we are at the softball stage. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to leave it here for a moment just to let it finish getting where it needs to be, because it's pretty much there. Alrighty. A little bit more. I did turn the stove off. My stove stays hot for quite some time. I'm using a glass stove, so I did turn the stove off so that I can show you this. My stove is a little dirty just because we just had dinner and I haven't cleaned it off since cooking dinner, so that's why it looks the way it does when you see this. So don't get upset and be like, oh, she didn't even clean her kitchen. I do. It's just we literally just had dinner and I cleared off dinner just so I can make this real quick and record this video. Yep, so it's softball stage. It's just a little bit past. That's where I wanted it at, just to make sure it gets to where it needs to be. So I'm gonna scrape off what's on here and I'm gonna set my thermometer into the sink. All right, so now let me bring you guys close so you can see this. So right here in this pot, this is what it looks like when it's at the softball stage. Okay, this is how it looks. I don't know if you're getting a good view of this or not. Turn that light off. This is how it looks. I don't know. It's like hard with the lighting in this house. Like I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but yeah. So this is how it looks. And it's gonna, this is gonna cool down until it's not looking glossy anymore. So I'm gonna let this cool just a little bit, and I'm actually about to go get the baby again because she's fussing a little bit. Sorry, you guys aren't even like where I'm pointing to where I need you to be at. So I'm gonna go get the baby real quick and bring her over here because she's wanting to be held, and it is almost time for her to go to bed. So that's what's happening. Okay, so this is cooling down, but to save time, because if I do this, I would have to like break the video down, and I don't want to do that because I'll mess around and forget. I'm gonna add in my pecans now. The 2 cups of pecans, and I'm gonna stir this because you gotta stir it until it thickens. So 2 cups of pecans. 1, 2. Actually, I'm gonna add just a little bit more because I like pecans. So it's about 2.5 cups of pecans. And I'm gonna get this mixed in. I don't want to put it to where it was hot at, so I'm gonna bring you guys closer. I'm actually gonna switch you guys sides, so you're gonna see just a little bit of mess, but not too much. Like that. Throw this away. Okay, so I'm gonna move you guys on this side and show you the so now here it is with the pecans. We're gonna stir this. We're supposed to stir this until it thickens, which it's already starting to thicken, but that's because it's cooling. So that's exactly what you're wanting. So we're pretty much cooling this down by stirring it. And I'm gonna let this sit here for a moment because I'm gonna go get a pan ready with my silpat on it, so you guys can see me when I drop a couple of spoonfuls onto the silpat. So let me get. See if it's gonna fit. Nope, too big. Still, but the mat is still too big. Okay, well, this is as good as it's gonna get. I don't know what that is on there, but okay. So right here, I have my pan ready with my silicone mat. But you can use, if you don't have the silicone mat, you can use, what is that? Parchment paper or wax paper. Okay, so we're gonna just stir this. See how it's starting to thicken? That's exactly what you want. And we're gonna stir this until it gets thick. And then I'm gonna come and spray my silicone mat after this thickens up some more. And then I'm gonna drop it on there so you guys can see what it looks like once it's dropped on there. So this is coming together really nicely. A nice, simple dessert or candy. It doesn't have to be for Christmas, but since it's Christmas time, I'm gonna say that this is a nice little treat for Christmas. Let me go get some spray because that's almost ready to start dropping on the pan. So I'm gonna just lightly spray my pan. My mat, I should say. All right. And just put the spray. And I just sprayed it with some Pam. So any kind of non-stick spray works out just fine. All right. So now that this is still thick, this is still thickening, but I just want to drop some on to show you real quick, just to show you what it's gonna look like. All right. So this is how it looks as it's thickening, and it's because it's cooling. So just so you know. All right, so I have my pan here. I'm gonna just use the spoon real quick just to do this. All right, and we're just gonna do a little one just like that. And you're gonna let this cool down and set. So just one of those, let it cool and set, and it'll be nice and fine, a nice little sweet treat. And this is even good to like, so this is something that's good to give out as a gift, or to use for, say, like a work gathering, baby shower, welcome home, you know, some nice treat to give to somebody as a welcome to the neighborhood, anything like that. So that's what this is good for. So I'm going to make sure I type this recipe in the box below, so you guys can have it for your own selves to make at another time whenever you're wanting to make this. And I will see you guys in the next video. You guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and stay blessed. Bye.